The title is also supposed to be a tagline for what we do. We transform the world with culture. It's a tall order indeed. So let me just give you some background. So for the past more than a decade, the Europeana has, started from a mere idea in 2008 and has progressed to really be a key player in the digital transformation of the heritage cultural sector in Europe, and has grown into a vast network of members, but more importantly, of these cultural institutions, museum, library, archives. And so it sort of operates all kinds of digital services and tools that manage more than 50 million data objects and continuously try to update to new development to make this digital collections available to the broadest possible public. We are now on a completely new, different phase of this project, as Europe has really stepped up its effort and its ambition in the governance and the management of digital policies over the continent. And in particular, there's been two important policies documents. One is Europe's Digital Decade, and the other one is the Europe Data Strategy, which sort of plan on the scaling up effort to improve digital infrastructures, broadband, 5Gs, upskilling all kinds of millions of professionals, and upscaling digital capabilities of people, so that to improve sort of not just the personal life, but also businesses across Europe. The two main ideas that are important here to retain is a need and desire to get hold of sovereignty of data, and to empower everyone to function in a sort of safe digital space while preserving their privacy, their data privacy, but also allowing people, as I said, to grow both in business and in personal life. These policy documents and this drive, this political drive behind these policies, it's meant to transform Europe in a data-driven society where data is shared freely amongst sector, and within this idea, there's been sort of outlined this new Digital Europe program that see the creation of sectorial digital spaces that will exchange information freely. So the main concept to retain here is interoperability, so that information and can flow freely, and everybody can use it within this space that's supposed to be a sovereign space, as I said before. This is especially important for the digital sector because within the Digital Europe program and within the different data spaces, there will be a digital data space for the cultural sector. And obviously, Europeana is set to play a key role into this digital space, which the European Commission wants to be sort of hypercharged, turbocharged, so that there'll be a lot of collections, not just in terms of items, but also in the 3D facsimile of monuments and sites, especially those that are most at risk. We are seeing recently how important that is in case of all kinds of calamities, not just natural, but also man-made, as the Ukrainian is a clear reminder of, and so a lot of resources have been channeled to these efforts to member states, and the member states are recommended or asked that a lot of this 3D digitizing effort and new digitization campaign be part of the Europeana initiative. So in the next years, we'll see our collection grow exponentially in different ways, including a lot of 3D. So this is all very, very important for us, but we need to, and now we're coming to the sort of the meat of my presentation, is that we need to focus on what it is that we are here to do. And it's important to remember that we're not a business enterprise, but we are really focusing on helping communities develop in civic society, so creating a knowledgeable and creative society. We are really in the development of people and a relationship between people and relation between the common house of Europe. So how do we do that? On one hand, of course, we continue to work on capacity building and knowledge building. For example, with a lot of education projects, such as the latest, or one of the latest, which is particularly dear to my heart, which is called Building with Bits, and it's about involving schools in a particular country, especially the south of Europe, Italy, Portugal, and Greece, to create immersive environment to help children in school create immersive environment using the resources and collection on Europeana. In this way, we want to improve their ability to create a safe digital environment in which they can express themselves, learn from it, but at the same time on a controlled and safe environment. And then, of course, the other important way, one is building, and the other one is improving on data and the use of data and the technology behind data. And so how we can be important players in the new data space. And two of the main challenges, and today I want to talk more since it's a presentation among experts and colleagues in the field, I want to talk about two most important challenges that we are working on at the moment. One is the multilingual challenge, and the other one is artificial intelligence. So why is multilinguality so important for Europeana? As you know, we have we sort of operate a collection based on the collection of all the different countries that are part of the European Union. So you see here a map, and you see the different level of participation. Netherlands is a small country, but it has a lot of participation, and Norway, Poland, and these different countries all have different languages, and there are about 38 languages with which objects are described in our database, in our collection. And the Dutch, for example, is very present, but other difficult languages, difficult, not as common, are also very important. And so these languages need to be accounted for, because indeed we are Europe, and every language is part of cultural identity of the member states. So multilingual is important, and multilingual is something that we provide for example, at different levels. Obviously, the Europeana website, static pages, is translating the 24 default languages of European Commission plus us. And you can start reading more and more editorial content in different languages. So more and more curated collections, stories are being translated. Of course, the websites could be suitable in, you can navigate this in different languages. What is becoming more complicated and more difficult is to be able to read item text on the fly in different languages. And then, of course, the most difficult part is to search for the answer. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about these last two steps, which are the sort of what we're focusing on and where we found a lot of work needs to be done still. So, as I said before, navigating our website is pretty straightforward. You just need to translate it, just activate it, and the interface is translated, and that's pretty simple. You just need the resources, human and financial, to do so. Same goes for editorial content. You need to update it as more and more content is provided on the website, but it's pretty easy. You just need to add it as you go on. What is more complicated is creating this immediate translations, and this is something that we are having quite some success in doing. And then we started this pilot project on using Spanish to see how search is improved for users when more than one language can be used. All of this, of course, we are doing because we want to increase accessibility of our information and our collection. Here it's a little video that I want to, video cannot be loaded, that's too bad. Let me just do something else. I just wanted to show you how you can look at sort of upload a content of the data, the metadata for a content, and you can choose what language you want to use it in, and everything is translated immediately. So from French into English or from English into Polish. This is not going to start for some reason. But you can peruse it yourself even on our website, and you pull up an object and you can see that there is a menu at the top and let you choose the language. Now the Spanish search pilot is where we need to do more work, because of course everything has to be using the Spanish pilot, for example. Spanish goes into English, and then from English goes back into Spanish to be able to work. But of course, the results are very rewarding. Here I'm just showing you a difference between the amount of research material that you find. For example, if you're looking on the Spanish website, on the website in Spanish, and you look for a search term, you're obviously going to find a lot of results in Spain, less so, for example, United Kingdom. Whereas if you use this new searching in multiple languages, new pilot, you're going to find a lot more results in different languages. So Spain, of course, you're going to find a lot. And then following down, you're going to find many in the United Kingdom and other countries. So it improves a lot what you can find using your own language. And that, of course, is key and vital if you want to bring to the widest possible audience what we are, what we're doing, what we gather. Our role as connector in the digital space needs to be the key, and to play that role, we need to be able to connect connections with people and connections in our own database. So we are working a lot on this. The key challenges encountered, of course, is the huge number of languages we're working on with, and also the fact that we need the underlying data to be coded for different languages. It has to have a definition on what language it is that it is set in at the beginning. And of course, we also are encountering the problem of not having a translation services that are suitable just for the cultural heritage. And the difficulty, as we all know, that we work with cultural heritage of this ambiguity in the language is very important. A simple example, in English, Turkey, the animal, and Turkey, the country, are the same thing, and of course, this is not so in other languages. So, I mean, there are all these challenges, linguistic challenges, that are difficult to address in very short time. Now, the other important projects that we are focusing on is using artificial intelligence, or in the process of to improve image quality and metadata. We have started a series of projects. Some are more famous than other. One is St. George and a Bike, which aims at using artificial intelligence tools to be able to understand the meaning of image. So it's not just image recognition, not just seeing a rabbit and understanding the name of the rabbit, but seeing a complex image, as for example, St. George killing a dragon, and understanding that St. George killing a dragon is not a place in our symbolic environment and context in other parts. So this, of course, is a project that needs a lot of good metadata, good image with metadata, and a big set of them. And but it's been shown some promises to that. Another interesting one is a recommendation project, Europeana 20, which aims at developing recommendation tools for users based on the user's previous taste and search navigation. So it's also being developed as something that can improve the outreach of our collection. Here I'm just going to go over a series of experiments in image similarity. For example, you're searching for a ring, there are many rings and they sort of go together. The detection of property marks is sometimes very annoying when one looks at the pictures. And then the two main ones, those are the one about image resolution enhancement, so the enhancement of picture quality that is not to the highest possible standard, because that's another problem that we have in Europeana, that there are different levels of quality in terms of metadata and image resolution, and also image tagging, that is the creation of metadata immediately from pictures, automatically from pictures. Here to experiment moving forward, as I said, this is the enhancement of low resolution images, and that again can improve the scope and the number of objects that can be used in different ways by our community, our users. And here is the one about image tagging that, starting from a picture can immediately create some basic metadata around that picture. And as I shown before, it uses sort of heat mapping to be able to do that. Of course, here we also have encountered various challenges. because we have had a certain project a lack of annotated database that can be used to train machines, read, and provide information. Difficulty to scale annotated methods is basically the lack of people to be employed in this project, and here we also need to come to terms with the need to use commercial solutions and sometimes technology that is commercial and it's not European, and this is obviously something that we should do without. And so, for example, the use of Google for certain projects is something that, of course, should it's a debate, let's say, within the European community, precisely for this idea of sovereignty of data that I have discussed. So these are basically the three main projects that I wanted to highlight today, seeing that I'm still already before my time, and I'm happy to answer some questions if there are any. I'm now going to stop the screen so that we can go back to you. Go back to you.